The first moments after consciousness returns, before the noise of the world rushes in, are not just ordinary seconds. They are the raw material from which your entire reality will be shaped. The ancient Stoics understood something that most of us have forgotten. How you greet the morning determines whether you will spend the day mastering life or being mastered by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote that when you arise, you should remind yourself that you are waking up to do the work of a human being, to act with purpose, not to drift through the hours like a leaf on moving water. But most of us don't arise. We're jolted awake by alarms, immediately reach for devices, and before we've taken 3 conscious breaths, we're already drowning in the expectations and anxieties of a world that never sleeps. What if those first few minutes could become something different? What if they became a fortress, a space where you reclaim authority over your own mind before anyone else can claim it for you? This isn't about complicated rituals or hour-long meditation sessions. It's about 5 simple truths you can speak to yourself each morning. 5 phrases that, when repeated consistently, don't just change your mood. They rewire the very structure of your thinking. If you've ever felt like your days are happening to you rather than for you, if you've ever reached evening wondering where the hours went and why you feel so drained, then these words might be the anchor you've been searching for. Before we go deeper, if the pursuit of genuine wisdom and inner strength matters to you, consider subscribing to Stoic Mindset Mastery. We're building something here that outlasts trends, a foundation for living that actually works. And if you've ever felt like your mind needs more structure than the world provides, stay with me until the end. What I'm about to share has the power to reshape everything. Have you ever noticed how some people carry an almost gravitational presence? They don't rush, they don't react. They simply exist with a kind of settled certainty that makes you feel calmer just being near them. That quality isn't accidental. It's cultivated morning by morning through the internal conversations they have before anyone else gets a chance to speak into their lives. The first truth you need to tell yourself each morning is this: I am grateful to be here. Not because everything is perfect, not because life is easy, but because existence itself is the rarest of gifts, one you did nothing to earn and yet received anyway. Gratitude isn't just a pleasant emotion, it's a weapon against the entitlement that makes us miserable and the anxiety that keeps us trapped in future thinking. When you practice genuine thankfulness for simply being alive, you interrupt the brain's default pattern of scanning for threats and problems. You literally rewire your neural pathways toward resilience. Research from institutions like Harvard and UC Berkeley has confirmed what the Stoics knew 2,000 years ago. People who practice daily gratitude report higher levels of optimism, better sleep, stronger immune function, and greater overall life satisfaction. Not because their circumstances are better, but because their focus is different. Where others see obstacles, they see opportunities. Where others react, they respond. And it all begins with this internal reset button you press every single morning. Plato observed that a grateful mind is a great mind, one that eventually attracts great things to itself. This isn't mystical thinking, it's basic cause and effect. When you're centered, your decisions improve. When you're appreciative, you draw people who operate from that same frequency. When you're grounded, you become far less susceptible to manipulation, distraction, or derailment. You don't just show up differently, you attract a different quality of life. So before your day gets hijacked by obligations and overwhelm, own those first few seconds, not with pressure, not with a long to-do list, but with presence. I am grateful to be here. Say it. Feel it. Let it soften your breath and widen your perspective. That phrase may seem small, but it holds the power to recalibrate your entire nervous system. Because gratitude isn't passive, it's powerfully active. It's how you take control before the world gets a chance to. It's how you stop merely existing and start truly living. The second morning, truth builds directly on the first, but it requires more courage. You must tell yourself, yesterday does not own me. Think about how many people wake up already exhausted, not from lack of sleep, but from never having released the previous day. Their bodies rested, but their minds kept spinning, replaying conversations, regretting mistakes, rehearsing arguments that are already over. Carl Jung wrote that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. If you wake up and immediately let your mind run wild with everything that went wrong yesterday, with every criticism you received, with every way you fell short, you're not living, you're just surviving on repeat. We carry so much unnecessary weight, the awkward exchange, the missed deadline, the thing we wish we'd said differently. Sometimes it's not even our own stuff. We carry other people's moods, judgments, and expectations too. We let the shadow of what was follow us straight into what could be. But here's what most people forget. You're not meant to relive yesterday. You're meant to learn from it, then leave it where it belongs. That's the real test. Not perfection, but release. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Yesterday might have been a mess. You might have said the wrong thing, lost your temper, missed an opportunity. Okay, but now what? Will you live there forever, or will you extract the lesson and move forward stronger, sharper, clearer? Think of it this way. Every day is like a fresh page in a journal. But if you keep scribbling yesterday's story on today's page, you never get to write anything new. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's emotional discipline. It's the decision to say, I won't waste today fighting battles I've already lost or trying to fix things that no longer exist. Socrates believed that the examined life is essential, but examination doesn't mean picking at the same wound until it bleeds again. It means observing, understanding, and then releasing. Take the lesson, leave the weight. If that sounds too simple, ask yourself, what has holding on to yesterday really done for you? Has it healed you? Has it helped you? Or has it just made your present heavier than it needs to be? Here's a practical technique. Picture the thoughts you're holding, regret, guilt, embarrassment, as stones in a backpack. Every morning before you get out of bed, close your eyes and imagine taking that backpack off. Literally visualize it sliding off your shoulders and hitting the floor. Feel your body relax. Let that visual become a ritual, because when you let go physically and mentally, your nervous system gets the message. We're safe, we're free, we're starting clean. Aristotle taught that habit forms character. So what if you made this letting go process a habit, not a one-time thing, but a muscle you flex every day? The more you practice release, the easier it becomes to separate your identity from your old wounds. You stop being the person who's always messing up or always behind, and you start being the person who recovers fast, forgives quicker, and chooses peace on purpose. And it's not just about the big moments. Sometimes we carry tiny things we don't even realize are weighing us down. The tone in someone's text, the thing we overheard, the passive-aggressive comment that got under our skin. Little stuff that builds up until we don't even know why we're so tense. That's why this practice matters daily, not just when you've had a meltdown, but every morning. Check in, clear out. Plato is often quoted as saying that the beginning is the most important part of the work. If you begin your day carrying the past, your actions, your words, your choices, they're all filtered through that residue. But if you begin with presence and release, you gain clarity, you gain power. You don't bring the noise of yesterday into today's silence. So stop treating every day like it's a continuation of your worst memory. That's not fair to you, and it's not fair to your growth. Yesterday had its shot, today is yours. And you owe it to yourself to show up fully. Not halfway, not haunted, not on autopilot. The third morning truth is perhaps the most empowering and also the most challenging. I control my mind. It's easy to feel like life is spinning out of control. One moment you're sipping coffee, the next you're drowning in notifications, news updates, messages, meetings, and then come the thoughts. Fast, noisy, demanding. It's like your mind opens its own browser and starts launching tabs you never clicked on. Before you know it, you're not thinking, you're being thought. You're reacting, chasing every feeling, every worry, every what if. It's exhausting. And it's a trap. The Stoics saw this coming centuries ago. They knew that the chaos outside isn't nearly as dangerous as the chaos inside. That's why they trained daily to master their minds before the world could. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That right there is the core of all personal power. Not in controlling others, not in controlling every outcome, but in controlling the only thing you ever really could. Your response. And that's where your morning comes in. Before the world wakes up and starts screaming, there's this tiny window of silence, a pause. What you do in that pause sets the tone for everything. Carl Jung wrote that, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." That's not just poetry, it's a blueprint. Most people go through their day completely outward focused, pulled by noise, comparison, ego, status. But the moment you shift your gaze inward, even for 60 seconds, you start to wake up. You realize that not every emotion is true. Not every thought deserves your attention. Your mind might be busy, but you don't have to be. Here's something simple you can try. First thing in the morning, just sit still for 1 minute. Nothing fancy, no music, no scrolling, just you and your breath. Inhale slowly, exhale slower, and as the thoughts come, and they will, let them pass like clouds. Don't grab onto them, don't judge them, just breathe. That space between stimulus and response, that's where your power lives. That's where you remember, I am not my thoughts. I'm the one watching them. Plato believed that the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Not your job, not your schedule, not your inbox, yourself. And that victory starts in your head. Every time you catch yourself spiraling, overthinking, reacting, you have a choice. Will you let your mind drag you, or will you direct it? Will you be the driver or just the passenger? This isn't about becoming some monk on a mountain. It's about practical control in a loud world. It's about choosing your mood instead of being hijacked by it. You don't have to answer every call. You don't have to feed every fear. You don't have to let every little inconvenience ruin your peace. Peace isn't passive, it's a decision. And the more you decide to claim it, the more natural it becomes. Socrates said the secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And the new starts with you saying, this is the direction I'm moving in. This is the tone I'm setting. This is the mindset I choose. Neuroscience confirms what philosophy always knew. Your brain isn't fixed. It's plastic. It rewires itself based on what you focus on. If you spend every morning reacting, doom scrolling, comparing, complaining, your brain gets better at stress. But if you spend your mornings anchoring, breathing, choosing, observing, your brain gets better at calm. You literally train yourself for peace. Aristotle pointed out that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. You don't become mentally strong overnight. You become it by choosing the same intention every morning. I control my mind. That's your rep. That's your discipline. And like lifting a weight, it gets easier with time. So the next time your mind starts pulling you toward doubt, toward anger, toward distraction, pause, breathe, and remember, just because the thought showed up doesn't mean you have to follow it. Just because something's loud doesn't mean it's true. Your inner voice, when trained, is stronger than all the outer noise combined. But you have to choose it. And yes, you're going to mess up. You'll have days where your mind runs the show and you forget all of this. That's okay. Don't judge it. Just return. The Stoics weren't about being perfect. They were about being aware. The real growth isn't in never slipping. It's in noticing sooner when you do and returning faster to who you really are. The fourth morning truth might seem soft, but it's actually the most formidable. Kindness is my superpower. There's something magnetic about people who walk into a room and bring calm with them. They don't have to speak loudly or dominate space. Their presence just feels grounded. You feel safe around them, like their energy isn't looking to prove anything. And you wonder, how do they do that? The answer isn't fame, money, or some fancy self-help routine. It's something much simpler and much more powerful. Real kindness. The kind that isn't performative. The kind rooted in inner strength, not weakness. Marcus Aurelius wrote that kindness is invincible if it's sincere, not fawning or pretending. What can even the most malicious person do if you keep treating them with kindness and remain firm? That's the balance, gentle but not fragile, soft-spoken but not silent. In the modern world, we often mistake harshness for strength, as if being cold or detached somehow proves you're in control. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. The strongest person isn't the one who controls others, it's the one who controls themselves. Kindness is a form of self-mastery. It means you've developed enough awareness to pause before reacting, enough humility to listen before judging, and enough courage to extend grace even when it's not deserved. Carl Jung said that knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. That hits hard, doesn't it? Because we all have that inner storm, the insecurities, the pain, the fear. And when we see it in others, we often forget they're battling their own version of what we're dealing with. Kindness bridges that gap. It's not about being overly positive or pretending everything's okay. It's about choosing to see the humanity in people, even when it's buried under layers of defensiveness or anger. Start your day with that mindset, and you'll feel the shift. You'll speak softer, not because you're weak, but because you don't need to shout to be heard. You'll react slower, not because you're indifferent, but because you value peace more than being right. And you'll lead with patience, not because you don't care, but because you understand that transformation takes time, yours and everyone else's. Socrates once said to be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. He wasn't being poetic, he was being real. Most of the pain people project has nothing to do with you. It's their own stuff, their own wounds, their own unresolved stories. When you operate from that awareness, you don't take things so personally. You start to see beyond the surface. That rude comment, fear, that passive aggression, insecurity, that silence, probably pain. Kindness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but it does mean responding with clarity instead of ego. Here's where it gets even more practical. Visualize one kind thing you'll do today. Seriously, pick something right now. Maybe it's complimenting someone who seems down. Maybe it's pausing to really listen when someone speaks. Maybe it's texting a friend just to say you're thinking of them. Doesn't matter how small it is, it adds up. That one act might be the only good thing someone experiences today. And the wild part? It will probably do more for you than it does for them, because every kind action reinforces your identity as someone who leads with intention, not impulse. Plato believed that excellence is not an act, but a habit. So is kindness. It's not about waiting until you're in a perfect mood or until someone deserves it. It's about choosing who you want to be on purpose, making it a practice, repeating it until it becomes your nature. And when it becomes your nature, your presence shifts. You no longer enter rooms trying to get something. You show up to offer something. That's a different kind of power, a deeper kind. Yes, people might misunderstand you. They might mistake your patience for passivity, your calm for disinterest. But here's the key. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because it aligns with your values. You're doing it because it reflects the person you're building. The Stoics weren't soft. They were warriors of the mind. They faced hardship, betrayal, loss, and still believed in leading with virtue. To them, kindness wasn't an accessory, it was core. It was the foundation of a life well lived. And when you understand that, you stop looking for applause. You stop trying to prove your worth. You just live it, quietly, consistently, completely. So tomorrow morning, before you get swept into the day, pause, center yourself, and remind your mind, kindness is my superpower. Not because you need people to like you, but because it's who you choose to be. Then go out there and live like someone who's not afraid to be good. Not fake good, strong good. That's what leaves a mark. That's what rewrites the energy of a room. And more often than not, that's what ends up changing people, starting with you. The fifth and final morning truth is the one that ties all the others together. This moment is all I have, so I will enjoy it. Have you ever blinked and realized an entire week just flew by? Not in a poetic life is beautiful way, but in a slightly disorienting where did the time go way. 1 minute you're sipping your morning coffee and the next you're buried under a mountain of notifications, meetings, and responsibilities you barely remember agreeing to. It's like the day ran away without asking permission, and you're stuck trying to catch up. That's modern life for most of us. Fast, loud, demanding. But here's something that cuts through all that noise like a blade. Everything is temporary, and that truth isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. The stress? Temporary. The pressure? Temporary. Even the joy, the peace, the good stuff. It too is passing. That's what makes it precious. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They practiced what's called memento mori, a daily reminder of mortality, not to be dark or depressing, but to be aware. Because when you realize nothing is guaranteed, not tomorrow, not even the next hour, you start treating the present moment with more respect. Plato said that time is the moving image of eternity. That hits differently when you think about how little of it we actually use well. So much of our time is spent either regretting the past or worrying about the future. We rarely just are. But presence is a skill, a discipline, something you have to train just like your body, your mind, or your patience. Carl Jung believed that the ability to be in the present moment is a major component of mental wellness. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Most of our anxiety lives in the future. Most of our sorrow lives in the past. The present, that's where your feet actually are. That's where the breath lives. That's where power exists. But we're so distracted we miss it. We miss the sunlight streaming through the window, the taste of our breakfast, the way the air feels right before a rainstorm. These small moments, overlooked by many, are everything. Aristotle talked about eudaimonia, the idea of flourishing, of living a good and meaningful life. He didn't tie that to some distant goal or external success. He tied it to virtue in action, how you live each moment, how you show up with integrity, awareness, and intention. Enjoying the present doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities. It means learning how to fully experience whatever moment you're in, even the messy ones. Let's be honest, though. Presence is hard. It's much easier to distract yourself, to stay busy, to always think about what's next. Because sitting still with yourself, that's where the real work begins. The Stoics called this inner stillness ataraxia, a kind of serene calm that isn't shaken by the outside world. One of the fastest ways to tap into that calm is to slow down and notice the moment you're in. Whether it's brushing your teeth or watching the wind move through the trees, let yourself be there. And look, this isn't about pretending life isn't stressful. It absolutely is. The world will continue to move fast. People will continue to pull at your time and energy. But when you practice presence, you stop giving your power away. You stop being ruled by urgency, and instead, you choose clarity. Seneca wrote that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. That's it. Not just surviving, but enjoying. And enjoyment doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. It can be found in stillness, in quiet appreciation, in the pause between things. So tomorrow, or even right now as you're reading this, pause. Take one deep breath. Feel it travel through your chest. Notice where your feet are. Notice what you hear, smell, taste, touch. Be where you are, not where you think you need to be. Presence is power because it brings you back to yourself, not the version of you that's performing, not the version that's planning or regretting, just you. Here, Socrates, the master of questioning everything, once asked, "How can you wonder your travels do you good when you carry yourself around with you?" The truth is, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. If you can't be present, nothing will satisfy you. Not success, not status, not escape. That's why presence isn't optional, it's essential. You want more fulfillment, more connection, more peace. It doesn't come from doing more. It comes from noticing more. It comes from paying attention. It comes from choosing to enjoy the little things while they're happening, instead of missing them and wishing you'd paid attention. This moment, this one, is already slipping away. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly, like it always does. So hold it a little longer, appreciate it a little deeper, and remind yourself often, everything is temporary, so I will enjoy this moment. That mindset doesn't just slow down time, it stretches it, makes it richer, more meaningful. And over time, you begin to realize this moment was never small. It was everything. You just needed to notice. If what we've explored here today has resonated with something deep inside you, there's another video waiting for you on screen. One that dives even deeper into building a life rooted in stillness, clarity, and inner strength. I think you'll find it powerful. Thank you for being here, for being willing to examine not just these ideas, but yourself. If this content added value to your morning or your life, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear these words. And remember, in the quiet of your own mind, your transformation begins. This is Stoic Mindset Mastery, signing off.